Let's talk about how I survived my first year in real estate while balancing my full time 9 to 5 job. If you are planning on quitting your 9 to 5 to start real estate here in Jamaica, please watch this video first. My first year in real estate, it was not glamorous. It was fun, it was exciting. I learned a lot, but the commission was very small. I could have not survived on that commission for the entire year. Let's get into how I made my first commission in real estate. So I remember it like it was yesterday. I was assigned my first floor day. And for anyone out there who is a first year realtor or anyone who is thinking about going into real estate here in Jamaica, note this: floor days are very important. What this is the company giving you a specific day per month that you have to come in, sit at the desk, and whichever call comes into the office, you'll be assigned those calls. So, calls, emails, anything that comes in office as it relates to leads, you'll be given those contacts. Well, except for other realtors within the company's listing, those are exempt. But every other call, every other communication with the company as regards to buying and selling of real estate or leasing, you will get all those calls. So floor days are extremely important. I remember I sat there taking all the calls that were coming in, trying my best to secure a lead. One of the agents walked in and she was so bubbly. She came over to me and she was like, "Hi, my name is Tanya Sue. You're the new agent. How is it going?" I remember I felt that warm welcome. And of course I introduced myself to her and she said, "Hey, let me show you three of my listings." And this, oh my goodness, you wouldn't even imagine how excited I was because this meant I'm going outside the office and I'm going to be looking at properties. I was super excited. And of course, I took on the offer. I grabbed my bag and she drove and showed me all three listings or rental listings. And after looking at the property, she said, "Hey, guess what? I'm going to assign you as my co-lister." Like, oh, am I hearing right? You're going to put me as a co-lister on your property? And for those of you who don't understand what this is, a co-lister is someone who will know share the responsibility of promoting the property, answering the phone calls, ensuring that the property is on the MLS, and getting the property rented. So you must understand this was for me a big deal. So of course I took it on. I took on the task and I was ready. I ensured I take very clean photos. I wrote down the description of the property, put them into ChatGPT. ChatGPT formatted it better for me. I uploaded each and every one onto the MLS and we got started. All the calls that came in for the property, I answered. I was professional. I showed the properties and I managed to secure a tenant for one of the rental properties. I was excited. I was excited. I felt accomplished. I felt proud because I secured my first commission in my first year of real estate. And mind you, it was very small, might I add. But what I gained from that property, the experience that I gained from that property, no amount of commission could have compared to that. So Tanya Sue, if you're watching this video, thank you so much. Now let's get into when I went on my first caravan. And again, if any first year realtors are watching this or aspiring realtors, caravans are something you do not want to miss. And for me, who had a 9 to 5, I had to schedule my time. I had to ensure that I don't use my sick days loosely. I had to ensure that my departmentals, my casual, my vacation, all of them were taken wisely. So on important days like this, I had enough days from work to apply for either casual or whatever it is, so I could attend these functions. I remember attending my first caravan. It was a listing um, in the Kingston 3. It was a listing in the Kingston 3 area. And I met the listing agent there for the first time. And I went along with one of my colleagues who was also a new agent. And he basically just took us under his wings that day, and he explained the real estate industry, information, and the knowledge that he gave us that day. I still hold them close to this day. To this day, I hold every information closely, and he has become one of my mentors in real estate, somebody I can call if it is that I have a deal that's not going well or a deal that's about to fall through. I can always take on my phone and call him and say, "Hey, Noel, here this. Tell me what you think." And he's always there, ready to either give advice or provide solutions. So I must say, in my first year in real estate, I met some great people who helped to make my first year real estate experience phenomenal. Fast forward now to when I secured a listing of my own. Yes, you heard that right. In my first year of real estate, I think it was probably my second month, I secured my first listing in real estate. And mind you, this was not easy because, as I mentioned, everyone tells you to get listings, but no one really tells you how exactly to get listings. So I remember I said to myself, where can you go to find homeowners that want to sell their property? And the first thing came to my mind is the Sunday Gleaner. You heard that right. I went and I bought the Sunday Gleaner, and I went through the classifieds and I highlighted all interesting properties that I saw for sale in the Kingston and St. Andrew region. And I remember I had about 10 possible, you know, prospects, and I wrote down all the information, and one by one I called. And one by one I heard, "No, no, no, I don't want a realtor. No, I can do it on my own. No, thank you. Thanks for the call, but no, thank you." And in real estate, you can't be thin skinned. Thank God for my experience as a customer service officer, because the thin skin was shed a long time ago, and no, the skin is not as thick, but it's not as fragile as it was before. So hearing the no's did not deter me. I still called until I got a yes. So that is how I got my first listing on my own. And you can just imagine how excited I was to get a listing of my own. I was so excited. I went full speed on the promotions, taking photos. My mentor, he helped me with that part. He accommodated me to the viewings. He gave me some nice drone photos of the property so we can post it. And I am telling you, I worked that listing, and we managed to secure offers, and even offers that were above the asking price. Who appeared on me? Nobody. And even though it did not materialize into a commission, no fault of mine, by the way, that's for a different story. But long and short of the story, that property had a boundary issue that took forever to be solved. Another advice that I would give to aspiring realtors or first year realtors is, whichever listing you have, this is your opportunity to generate your leads. Even if it is that someone calls you in regarding to this particular property, but it does not work out in their favor, keep that person's contact. That is how you generate a lead, especially when you're starting from ground zero, like myself. These persons who contacted you on this particular property, what this means is that they're looking for a property similar to this one in that same price range. So now this gives you additional opportunity now to find the perfect homes for these buyers. So you see how that link? So that's exactly what I did with my first listing. I ensured to save all the contacts that I generated, and seeing that it did not work for them for this property, I ensured to try my best to find the perfect home for them in their price range, something that they will love. So that's how I started to generate my leads and to build my network into the real estate industry. I strongly believe that my love for the real estate industry is what allowed me to survive my first year in real estate. Because let's be honest, if I was simply just wanting the commission and wanting the financial gains, I would have quit in my first year. I would have quit in my first year. But the excitement that I have for the industry and the love that I have for it, that has what has been keeping me. And let me tell you, you see, when you make your first sale and you get to experience firsthand when someone holds their first key to their first property, that is a feeling that there's nothing that can compare to that. Nothing. The feeling of seeing someone hold the keys to their first home, unforgettable. So for aspiring realtors and first year realtors, your goal in your first year should not be about closing the biggest deals or making a big commission. Your goal should be learning the industry, building on your skills, generating leads. These are first year goals. Building your network. That is something big. Building your network. Those should be your primary goals in real estate. And that's what will sustain you. Because if you can survive your first year in real estate, you can win big in your second year. If you have made it to the end of this video, thank you guys so much for watching. And for all the first year realtors out there or aspiring realtors, I want to hear from you. How was this video? What have you learned? And for those of you who are in your first year, what have your experience been like? I want to hear from you. Let's talk. But guys, thanks again so much for watching this video, and please remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment, and most importantly, please subscribe.